Yeah.
Okay, I have a sign-in sheet to address the board if anybody would like to sign up, and I have agendas which are out there. If you need an agenda, they're on the end of the table. A regular meeting of the Delta County Commissioners is being held this date pursuant to the following call. In a letter to the Commissioners dated July 31st, 2025, and reading as follows. The Honorable Members of the Delta County Board of Commissioners, dear Commissioners, a regular meeting of the Delta County Board of Commissioners is scheduled for Tuesday, August 5th, 2025 at 5:15 p.m. in the conference room of the Delta County Service Center. Sincerely yours, Nancy Presrocki, Delta County Clerk. Please rise for a word of prayer. Lord, as we begin this meeting, we are thankful for our many blessings. We ask for guidance to help our commissioners make decisions in the best interest of the citizens of our county. And Lord, we pray for the safety of our military men and women and our first responders. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Commissioner Milner?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Williams? Here. Commissioner Van Genhoven?
Here.
And Commissioner Jensen.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson has been excused.
Is John's microphone on?
I don't think it's on. Yeah, there you go.
There it is. Okay. Approval of the minutes of the previous meetings, county board minutes on 7/15/25.
I would make a motion to approve the county board meetings from July 15th, 2025.
I'll support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion pass. Committee of the whole on 7/22/25. I need a motion on that.
I would make that motion to approve the committee of the whole meeting minutes from July 22nd, 2025.
I get support.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Okay, we need approval of the agenda. Anybody gonna approve the agenda as written?
I'll move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Support?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 7, presentation of written communications received and forwarded. And they are on 1.5.
Yeah.
Get a motion to put those on file?
Move to put the communications received on file.
Support?
Support.
Any discussion on them? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed.
Move to place communications forwarded on file.
I'll support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 8, reports of standard statutory special committees and others.
Move to place opioid task force minutes, airport advisory board minutes, and public health minutes on file.
Favor?
I need a support.
Support it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anybody
Oh.
opposed? Motion passed.
I'd also like to make a motion to place the reports of special committee from the Township Association minutes on file. Sorry.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Number 9, public comment on agenda items. Any public comment on agenda items? Any public comment on agenda items? Do we have anything on?
No, not for agenda items.
Okay. To committee reports, the administrator report.
Thank you. I just want to start out by saying on behalf of the Delta County employees, a big thank you to Commissioner Vangenhoven and her husband Bjorn, as well as all of the commissioners for the employee picnic. Heard a lot of great feedback from employees. A lot of fun was had, even despite the rain. It was very much appreciated. So thank you very much. The UP State Fair booth. The UP State Fair is coming up next week. The fair runs Monday, August 11th through Sunday, the 17th. Delta County is going to have a booth at the Ruth Butler Building. So information regarding county departments and services will be there, and people will be there, employees and volunteers will be there to answer any questions. So I encourage the public to take a stop by. The Delta County addressing dispatcher director Jen Peterson and Road Commission Director Jody Norman have been working on completing the address checks in Delta County. They finished Cornell, Ford River, and Escanaba Township, along with Round Lake. They're now starting Bark River Township. They're projecting to be finished reviewing all the addresses within the next year. There are some trouble addresses that we've been made aware of up by Round Lake, some of those cottages around those smaller lakes over there where there's duplicates. So we may give priority to those first, since they are more of an emergency response area, that we want to make sure that if the call comes in and there's duplicates, that we correct that right away. Once the addresses have been corrected and cleared, they're going to be given to the townships so that fire signs can be ordered. I was at the Township Association meeting last month. I did present that to them, gave them kind of a rundown on the process for that, and to contact me if they have any questions. So I'll be in contact with the townships as we move forward with the project. Also, if an address is going to be changed for a resident, we're going to help the township and assist them with that and give them some information that they can get to the resident, that we'll be sending to the resident, so that they can be sure to change that with the proper entities at the time. So the county will be involved in that way in conjunction with the townships to help the residents. And then lastly, the board packets for the Planning Commission are going to be available to the public before the meetings now. So if you subscribe to board packets for the county board meetings, you're also going to get that. It's kind of if you sign up for one, whether it's parks or planning, you're going to get all of them. So just to let the public know that if they start to receive those packets, you can just delete that and disregard it if it's not the committee or the board that you're looking for. But we will see those. Yesterday was their first meeting with that board packet online. So in the future, we're going to be putting those out as well. Thank you.
Okay. Can I get a motion to put the administrator's report on file?
So moved.
Support.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 2, Finance Committee minutes of 7/18/25.
So Commissioner Williams and I had a Finance Committee meeting on 7/18. It almost seems like a lifetime ago now. And that's actually going to be discussed in detail on item number 5 in new business on our agenda this evening.
Move to place report on file.
Support.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. IT Committee minutes of 7/29/25.
Myself and Commissioner Johnson and the IT personnel met, and actually Administrator DeSalvo was there as well. We went through some updates from IT. We also talked about board packets and the process of getting those board packets online. And Brandon and I have agreed that we'll work together to create a process map to identify where some of the challenges might be, to try to work through how better to do that. We also talked about, and Brandon brought forward, an exceptional set of tools for helping the county employees on their training for creating ADA-compliant documents. So those will be coming out soon here. And then we also have the language around our outside agencies submitting documents to us, and we'll be talking about that more, I believe, on the agenda somewhere down the road here. So we've got an example of what we approved at the IT committee for us to take a look at, so that's it.
Okay. Can I get a motion to put the IT minutes on file?
I'll move to place the IT committee meeting minutes on file.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 4, departmental updates. Any departmental updates? Seeing none, we'll move down. There was no unfinished business. New business, payment of bills.
I have examined all claims presented and recommend payment of the following, and that the county clerk be directed to issue orders to the county treasurer to the claimants for the amounts allowed. We have a total report of claims of $1,580,540.37. We also have jury expenses totaling $551.30.
I'll move that we pay our bills.
Support.
Okay, can I get a roll call?
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Van Genhoven,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
and Melner.
Yes. Okay. Paid. Number 2, upset presentation.
Yeah, be sure.
Yes, please.
Come right up to the podium here.
My name's Tim Schoen. I'm a detective lieutenant with the Michigan State Police, and I've been with the state police for almost 25 years. Out of those 25, 13 have been as a lieutenant of upset. So I'll just give you a kind of a quick breakdown of upset and how it's structured. And it's kind of interesting. It's always surprising to me. When I came up here 13 years ago, upset was one team here in the Upper Peninsula, had a really terrible office in on the Air Force Base at K.I. Sawyer. And it was frustrating when I first came here because we had like $82,000 in the bank. And when I walked through the door and they said, hey, you're the lieutenant, you got to help keep this team financially alive, I saw that we were going to be out of money in about 5 months. And with a leaky building, with traveling, not very efficient. Effective, yes, not very efficient, because we were taking detectives and driving all across the UP, trying to take care of every community's drug problems. And you never really gave everybody the satisfaction that they needed, because when you made an arrest, sometimes it wasn't several weeks, several months later until you were back in that area again. So over the course of the next several years when I came up here, slowly started to build up the financial aspects of the team, and it was always backed by the team's activity. So when I came in and said, we're gonna take care of a drug problem, unfortunately, we need funding from local communities, I had to back that up, and it seems like the team members always did that, because they're so involved, they wanna be involved, and they care about the communities here in the Upper Peninsula. So today, instead of just one office, we have 4 offices across the UP. We call our north office, that's up in Marquette, south office, which is down here right in Delta County. We have a west office, which is in Houghton County, and I have an east office over in Sault Ste. Marie area. So our north office, we have Marquette City Police Department, Marquette County Sheriff's Department, and then several troopers that are on the team. On top of that, we're very fortunate to have all of these federal partners. So Bureau of Indian Affairs, ATF agents, DEA agent, Homeland Security Investigations. There are 2 Border Patrol agents over on the east end. We don't take, do the ICE investigations. We just strictly focus on our drug investigations. And that's what they help take part in. We don't have any FBI agents in the office. However, we have FBI agents in the Marquette area that service this area. And basically they said, hey, we know that you guys are kind of the experts in drug investigations here in the Upper Peninsula. So we want to partner with you. And so together, FBI sponsored us to become a part of what we call the Safe Trails Task Force, right? So local officers, state troopers, were not deputized to go investigations, and they can't go onto tribal lands to conduct investigations. Well, drugs, they go from A to B, right? They go everywhere. And unfortunately, you had some local law enforcement and state troopers that can't follow those investigations onto tribal lands, makes it very difficult. So the FBI came along and said, we want to deputize you, so these specific detectives can help the community by enforcing drug laws both on and off of tribal lands. And it has been extremely beneficial task force. I'll tell you, the cases are just surprising, and they're very supported by, like, Hannahville Tribal Community. They continue to give us 2% funds every year, and they continue to collaborate together on solving their drug problems, because their drug problems are our problems, and vice versa. So we're happy to work with them. We work with all the tribal communities across the Upper Peninsula. We've had really, really great success in those areas. And then you have Delta, in our south office, you have Delta County Sheriff's Department, you have Escanaba Public Safety, and you have multiple troopers that are on the team, along with a detective sergeant who's also from the state police that's on the team, and he oversees as our team leader. In the west team, you have Houghton County Sheriff's Department. He actually puts 2 guys on. Houghton City Police, they had a person on. They're looking at refilling the position here, hopefully soon. If they don't take the position, I've actually had interest from Hancock Public Safety or Police Department to put somebody on. And then obviously you have Michigan State Police troopers over there, and the same thing with the East End. You get multiple troopers. I don't have any local agencies over there, and I'll tell you, there is a difference in our ability to be effective in that area without our local partners. It's huge. The drug teams downstate have that same issue. If they don't have those local public safety officers, those local sheriff's deputies, they don't get the same intel on the street. And I can explain it as easy as this, is that I don't know everybody in your community. I don't live here, unfortunately. I live in Marquette. And the troopers that are on the team, they always don't know everybody in the community. Some of them live in Iron Mountain area. Some of them live in Menominee area. They don't know everybody on the team. The public safety officer from Escanaba and the Delta County Sheriff's Department, they know everybody on the team. They know the deputies. They work with the deputies in uniform on the road. So when they come on the team, they bring that intel that helps those cases expand. And I'll give you another kind of snippet, is that over the last year, Escanaba Public Safety were running really low on uniformed officers, so they had to pull their guy off of upset. And I'll tell you, it was a huge drop in the amount of investigations that we specifically did in the city of Escanaba, because that officer wasn't there leading those investigations, getting that information from his road officers and building on them. So there's definitely a benefit in the community specifically with having somebody on upset. Our MSP partners, as much as I love that our team is made up of all of these locals, we're really beneficial to have MSP kind of backing and putting intel into our hands. They actually supplied us just recently, over the last several years, with an intel analyst. And on top of that, National Guard puts 2 intel analysts on this drug team. One of the National Guard intel analysts works and is housed right here in Delta County with our upset South detectives. On top of that, we do now have a paid administrative assistant, which we've never had on upset. So about a year ago, 9 months ago, we finally were approved to get an MSP paid administrative assistant, which is huge, because the MSP, they kind of say this: hey, you want to have a drug team and you want to help do it, we'll let you go do it, but you got to find the money to fund it. And it's a challenging thing. But when you see all these communities start to donate all of their funds, all these local townships, Forsyth Township, I know that's up in Marquette County, but they would love to put a body on, and they just don't have the bodies to do it. But they're like, we'll give you $10,000. Please remember us, please work with us, please keep in touch with our detectives. And a lot of those townships that have higher crime rates, they donate to us because they need that help. So we do, it is great that we're able to provide assistance to them. The Safe Trails Task Force, like I said, they actually deputize all of us. The other benefit is that they reimburse all the overtime that we use when conducting those investigations. So it's not as much as a burden on the local communities. They give us the vehicles, so we're not also draining the upset funds. So again, how upset is funded, contributions from local municipalities is primarily how we're funded. We have various community grants that I apply for every year. 2% grant funds also help come in. And then there's something called the Federal Burn JAG Grant. So the Burn JAG Grant is a grant that was created, I believe it was in the 1980s, and ultimately it's distributed to the states, and then the states get a portion of that money and say, you figure out how you want it distributed. So we apply for that. Upset applies for the local municipalities that put a person on upset every year. And I believe our portion of this last year's 35% reimbursement rate of what your officer's salaries is. So I'll tell you, several years ago, the MSP said, you know, we want to get away from funding officer salaries. And when my lieutenant colonel said this to me, I said, we can't. The communities up here are underfunded as it is. They're small, and they want to put a body on upset. And if I ended up telling them that we couldn't use the funding to reimburse officer salaries, I'd probably lose all of my local support. So we pushed back on that. He gave in, and today we're still using that for officer salaries. The other portion of it is a caveat, is that I realize that maybe the state has a little bit more money than most municipalities. So the state does not take any of the those funds to reimburse the MSP salaries. We can put a larger portion right into our locals. We are using some of that funds to cover our office expenses that we have for each of our offices. But that's primarily how we use that burn grant, is to try to get that money back into your hands because you're donating a body off the road. The one thing I'll say is that I know it hurts to give up a body off the road. I know there's agencies that want to do it and they can't do it, and it's hard for them to do it. What I'll say to that is that when you give one detective off the road, you don't just lose a detective in uniform. You gain a plethora of detectives, federal agents that will come and help you on any investigation whenever you ask. So we have all of those resources from our federal partners, and on top of that, right here in this office, you have well over a half a dozen detectives that are working on your detectives' cases at any given time. So when you go out and do surveillance, when you go out and do a drug investigation, an undercover buy, an interdiction operation, that's something you can't do alone, and it takes a lot of effort. And whenever the undersheriff, the sheriff, anybody calls me from Delta County, Escanaba, and they say they have a drug problem with a certain house, I'll tell you that those are taken very seriously in my office, and we react to them very quickly. I think it's actually one of the most impressive things that we do is that we're so in tune with what's kind of going on in the community, is how fast we react. And I'll give you an example. One up in Marquette is that a couple of years ago, we were notified that there was a member from Milwaukee coming up and selling large amounts of drugs. And within 3 weeks, the person only made 3 trips back and forth once a week. And by the 3rd trip, we already had them in custody and facing federal indictments with the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's the other unique thing about the Upset Narcotics team, is that since we're all deputized as task force officers with the FBI, we can take our cases, go directly up to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and forward those through. I have right now several federal indictments sitting up there that they're working through the process. I wish I could talk about those cases because they're all pretty interesting. But that person that I was talking about that made that 3rd trip, they ended up getting 14 years in federal prison because of that. So that's somebody from Milwaukee who's bringing drugs up, or in turn, teaching somebody else how to go down and get drugs and sell drugs. And we're eliminating that entire drug trafficking organization. Some of them face state charges, some of them go on federal charges, but it's a pretty unique network of what we do and how we take drug things apart. I've had cases to where we've identified the sources directly in Mexico. I've had sources that I have identified people in India from sending prescription pills. It's amazing what we do, and our federal partners are there to back us up with those cases. The last thing I'll say is that I think as of right now, I know that the burn grant funds reimburse your officer salaries, like I said, at 35%, which is roughly, I think, $40,000. I might be wrong on my math just a little bit, but from my records, that's what I'm kind of showing. And then the undersheriff mentioned to me that I know that there's kind of an offset on using the marijuana tax for supplementing that other portion of that officer's salaries. And I'll tell you that that is, it's just a huge benefit having your detective from Delta County on this team. It's not it's not my benefit. I got to deal with another person, buy more equipment. By the way, we do purchase all the equipment. We pay for all the training. I believe the sheriff pays for the travel expenses to and from, but as part of our being on our team, we cover the cost of the training, and it's something that they can stay on the team and bring back to their agency as well. So there's a benefit to other agencies or other officers down the road that are on your department. But that marijuana tax fund, I know there's other agencies that put people on upset that use that funds for the same thing. So I do encourage that, whatever you can do to maintain your officer on upset, I really support. I'll take the extra work on my plate if it means bringing more people to justice for dealing drugs in your community. I just want to say a couple quick things, is that as I was going through, I have on my email box, I put all of the guys' team activity kind of into this special email box of mine, and I save it. And it's just kind of highlights some of the things that they do even each week, every couple of weeks. And you have to remember that these detectives, they don't work in Delta County 100% of the time, and that's okay. If they arrest somebody, and investigate somebody in Menominee, it's a win for Delta County still, because those drugs travel, all right? I once had a county board member ask me, he said, "We hardly ever arrest anybody in my county." And I said, "Well, that's a good thing, right? That means we're keeping the drugs out. So if the stats aren't always what you want them to be, it doesn't mean the work's not getting done somewhere." And with drugs and the networks that we deal with, it's good that we're getting these people before they reach Delta County in a lot of ways. So just a couple of quick things. I was looking over some of these past things ever since the fiscal year, and I just see how these detectives are going out and doing things like fugitive sweeps. After they had found somebody that was selling drugs, they did controlled buys 3 different times. Then the fugitive left the area. They came back, and they finally arrested them when they got tips that they're coming back into the area. Here's a drug dealer from Delta County. We investigated him for several months. They had found that the suspect taken trips to Kansas on multiple occasions. We ultimately arrested him with 3.5 ounces of crystal meth. Delta County K-9 helped out on that traffic stop. And then, here's one where, again, we identified a car that was making trips back and forth to Green Bay area, had ties, strong ties to the Hannahville community. And as you know, anything tied to Hannahville also has ties to right here in Delta County, Escanaba. Ultimately, we ended up seizing a large amount of powder, 1 pound of crystal meth and 1 ounce of powder cocaine. A pound of crystal meth, that's huge for a small community like this. That's huge. So another dealer arrested. And then as I was going through these, I'll say this one too. Here's one where there's 150 blue fentanyl pills that the detective seized when the suspect was bringing drugs from the Detroit area directly up here to Delta County Garden area. And 150 blue fentanyl pills. The suspect was hiding them inside of their body cavity. So these are the type of people that we're dealing with that have no fear over this stuff. And as I flipped through these things, and I'll tell you that case specifically, I flipped over to a case where there's 5 people from Rapid River that overdosed and died, and they're all from the same high school. So those are the types of cases that we work on. As you can may be aware that there's not the same amount of overdose deaths since we identified who that dealer was. I can't say a whole lot about that case because that person's with the U.S. Marshals right now, and right where they should be. But we need your support, we need your detective, and I'm here to hopefully continue to make that happen and to give you the service you want. So I'm happy to answer any questions, and that's about all my spiel. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Do you have any contact that we get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. I can leave some business cards here
Okay.
and make sure that
Okay.
you get for each one of you.
Because
So-
I know, I go to the Township Association for Delta County.
Mhm.
They were one of the townships, and I can't remember who, was wondering how to get a hold of somebody to donate money.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
we have our office line, 906-228-1002. We have a PO box of PO Box 86, Marquette, Michigan, 49855. We have a website, upsetdrugs.com, where you can go in and ask questions or leave tips. In all honesty, you know, a lot of our stuff comes from local contributions from local municipalities, but I'll tell you, several years ago, there was such a push, and this was probably 2014, when we were really hurting for money. There was such a push, a lot of the community members ended up doing just a benefit for us, a spaghetti dinner, fundraising from the bowling alley up in Marquette. Cleveland Cliffs saw that, and they gave us $200,000. And that really sparked it to where I could separate these teams, get more people on the team. When I came on, we had 12 guys in an office that was pretty crummy. And I'm about up to 34 people right now. So there's commitment, and we want to continue that commitment for all of you.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Can you explain to me, so last year Delta County allocated $99,600 to Upset. And we decided that we were gonna use the marijuana, funds to supplement what you needed, and gladly so. Can you explain to me why, Delta and Marquette are the two highest contributors and other counties are either like anywhere between 0 and 10,000? I contacted a bunch of the different counties to see, what their sources were, to help fund you, and it's far less. And so I'm just wondering why it is that Marquette and Delta are such high contributors. Is it because of the detective?
Well, I'll say this, is that if you put a detective on Upset, you would get the 35% reimbursement for the officers' salaries.
Okay.
All the other counties, if they just contribute, they contribute financially, and there's no reimbursement for them anywhere. So when I'm talking about reimbursement, it only goes to Marquette City, Marquette County, Delta County, Escanaba Public Safety, and Menominee. So there are, Houghton County, Houghton Sheriff's Department, I have a different fund for them, so they don't pull from this burn grant. So the 35% reimbursement comes from the burn grant. And we did have an administrative assistant that was paid directly by Upset, and portion of her salary was also reimbursed by the burn grant. Since Delta County is our fiduciary, there's probably a higher number there because one, your officer's salary, and then the administrative assistant.
Yes.
And again, you're not paying for any of the administrative assistant. We're actually reimbursing Delta County 100%, and Upset's just getting a 50% reimbursement. Am I saying that right, Sherry? And then as for your officer's salary, that's probably just based on what your officer's rate of pay is. And what I've seen over the last 13 years is that I've had a detective with 20-some years in with his department, so his rate of pay was higher. And then I've had detectives that are 3 years in, and their rate of pay is really lower. But regardless where your rate of pay is, you're gonna get a 35% reimbursement. So that number does shift depending on your officer. And again, Delta County was, I think the numbers looked funny because you probably didn't see the reimbursement rate.
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
Thank you for
I
that
hope I explained that right.
clarification. No,
Okay.
it's very well explained. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Anything else?
No,
I
but we
appreciate-
really appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you
Yes,
very
Thank you
much.
for
very
having
much
me. I
for coming.
appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here. We go to number 3. Appointment to opioid task force. There's one opening, and it looks like we have 2 people, Steve Yu and Whitney Maloney. So,
I know that in the formation of the opioid task force, there was membership determined by specific types of agencies, or like this opening was for treatment provider. And I believe that the opioid task force was to have these specific types of membership. So as of right now, we don't have any applications that fit that membership. My recommendation would just be to table it until we get some applications that fit the treatment provider slot for the membership for the task force.
Okay.
Move to table.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 4, appointment to planning commission, 1 opening. And we have Jill Johnson from Rapid River. And she has her certificate from the Michigan State University Extension Citizen Planner Program. And she's got 2 other certificates, or 3 other certificates.
I would move to accept the appointment for Jill Johnson to the Planning Commission based on her application and her qualifications.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 5, Microsoft update purchase.
We had taken this to the Finance Committee to discuss because our license runs out on this come October. So we need to get the upgrade done before the next fiscal year so that it allows our IT director enough time to upgrade all of our systems for employees. Finance Committee met, determined the amount with the IT director that we would need. Our county treasurer was also at the meeting. We determined what funds we'd be able to use to pay for the upgrades. And so I'm just recommending to go with the recommendation from finance for that.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Yeah, I will make a motion to accept the IT committee's recommendation to spend up to or not to exceed $70,122 for the purchase of Microsoft Office for our staff computers. And outside of the motion, I would just like to say that this is a savings from buying licenses that are Microsoft 365. We don't feel like we need to do that at this point, so this is quite a bit of savings by purchasing just the standalone versions of the licensing per individual computer. So just warning us that in a few years, we're going to have to be looking at this. They will not be providing this license in a few years. It will be gone, and you will be purchasing licenses that are sort of all-encompassing, or you can get to them from anywhere, any device. And so we are going to end up probably paying a little more in the future. But for now, this is what we agreed to do, and it's a savings to the, it doesn't sound like it, but it is.
I believe it
support.
expires in 2029. So
It
we
does.
have about like 4 years
Yeah.
that we'll be able
Yeah.
to use
I'll,
it.
I'll support the motion.
It should be a
Any
roll
dis-
call.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, wait, is there discussion?
Yes, I was
I do
just
have
getting
a,
to
I do
that.
have a quick question. In your motion, it said 70,122, but IT, it said you motioned to allocate 72,000. So are you going back to the 70,122?
Oh, I was going, no, what did we?
We
it
did,
was-
I think it was just recommended to round it, and I think that's what the motion from
Oh.
IT was, just to round it up to an even 72.
Okay, I'll amend my motion.
And I'll amend the support. I just wanted to make sure that we had enough,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
any more discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes,
Commissioner Van Genhoven,
Yes.
Commissioner Jensen,
Yes.
and Commissioner Melman.
Yes. Okay. Number 6, resolution secure rural schools.
At the last board meeting, it was recommended for me to write a resolution, and you'll see that in front of you.
To approve resolution.
Support.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call?
Okay, Commissioner Williams,
yes,
Van Genhoven,
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
And Melner.
Yes. Number 7, opioid task force mini grants. Mini grant application?
Yes, the mini grant from the opioid task force is something that Commissioner Williams and our IT director, Brandon, have been working on. It's going to be an online application, and under your new business number 7, you'll see the outline of the mini grant. We just need approval from the Board of Commissioners, and this will go live on our website.
Okay. Get a motion?
I'll move that we go forward with the mini grant.
Support.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 8, credit card request for airport. Ashley Young.
We've had personnel shifting around. These requests are coming in to reissue credit cards in the name of the new position. Historically, I'll just let the board know, airport has usually been given a credit line of 5,000. District court is 3,000 and all other departments are 2,000. Historically, that's how it's been done. So I just wanted the board to have that information so that you can include that in your motion.
I would make a motion to grant the request for our airport manager, Ashley Young, to have a credit card in, to be capped at $5,000.
Support.
Okay. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 9, credit card request for parks. Heather Leduc.
Move to approve credit card request for parks for Heather Leduc not to exceed $2,000.
I'll support.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 10, dispatch maintenance policy.
So we have lien audits that are coming up for a couple different departments, one of them being dispatch. And in the process of these audits, they want to make sure that we have the proper policies for how we are conducting, running our liens, viewing our liens. And these 2 policies you'll see on agenda items 10 and 11 have to do with that. So dispatch has provided them to me. They're required for our dispatch to be able to have access to lien. And she's updating those policies so that they're in place for the audit.
Okay.
I would make a motion to accept the dispatch maintenance policy as written,
Support.
but I do have discussion.
Any discussion?
Yes, I would like to just point out that I did ask our IT personnel whether they had been privy to these policies prior, because they do touch on IT. There's a lot of IT information in here, and they did say that, yes, they are, and they are in support of them. And then the only request I am going to request for both of these is that the confidential statement be moved to the top of the policy and not be just located at the bottom. Because when a person goes to look at the policy, if it's confidential, it ought to be stamped at the very top and not just at the very bottom. So that would be my only request.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 11, dispatch planning policy.
Move we accept the planning policy as presented.
Support.
Any discussion?
Just to move the confidential statement to the top, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 12, Old County Travel, MAC Conference in Traverse City.
This is just to approve any commissioners going to the MAC conference for out-of-county travel.
Move to approve.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Pass. Number 13, resignation of C. Servant, Rosalie, request for a lump sum payout and fill position.
Move that we accept the resignation, provide the lump sum payout, and fill the corrections position, and send a letter as well.
Support.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 14, resignation of G. Lowry,
Lorilla.
Lorilla.
Or Rela.
Request for lump sum payout and to fill dispatcher's position.
And just one comment on that one. I did speak with our dispatch director, Jen Peterson, and we just hired a dispatcher. And so she asked if it would be okay if some of those applications could be put forward for this new one. I told her absolutely, and that she can contact them if she wants to have them come in for an interview as well.
Perfect.
Okay. We have a motion, support.
No, we have to make a motion. No
Oh,
one's made a
motion.
motion.
I'll move that we accept the resignation and pay the lump sum payout, and then follow along as recommended to refill the position and as well send her a letter.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 15, resolution, Amtrak expansion support.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I put this on the agenda. This is really, I'm not making any false promises to anyone. I don't want anyone to think that this is happening. This is just a support to communicate to anyone who could possibly be putting something like this in action, that the Delta County would support it. It could be, something like this could be quite a boon for tourism and certainly economic development or economic expansion, but there's nothing in the works right now. So I don't want anybody to think that there is. I just think that it's important that we provide whether or not we support it or not support it. And there's no cost to the county to do this, so I figured it would be worthwhile for us to voice our opinion. Oh, and it needs to have your name spelled correctly on it.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I
yes.
seen that.
Yeah. That would be the only thing, yeah.
Did you make a motion then?
No, I was just
Oh,
letting you
okay.
know what it was.
I
So
need a motion.
I would make a motion that we accept the resolution and in support of Amtrak expansion, and that we forward on to the appropriate parties to hopefully have an impact.
Can I get support? I'll support. Any more
Discussion?
discussion?
Yes, please. So, after our last meeting, when we did have the general public comment from Mr. Valance, I did reach out to the Wisconsin Department of Transportation regarding this, and his request for the Amtrak resolution of support that he had asked us for. And I received a call back from Richard Kedzier. He's the passenger rail program manager with Wisconsin Department of Transportation. He said there are no plans to bring Amtrak past Green Bay in the foreseeable future or ever. He said he's had several conversations regarding the expansion, and bringing Amtrak to the UP is not going to happen as far as he's concerned. So I didn't see it worthy of pursuing. But for the sake of throwing a resolution out there, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just want, people to know that, we did receive.
Yeah,
Information.
I guess if I look at, if we're gonna do a resolution supporting something at least needs to at least kind of be there. And we're kind of at right now where there isn't, it's not even talk of anything coming this way. So it makes it a little harder to support, and what
What are we supporting?
what are we supporting, and what could the changes be down the road, that we're supporting something openly now that we have no idea what it would be or what it could be, that I think it could be radically different in a couple years versus right now. So,
Well, the resolution doesn't promise anything. The resolution is just saying that it would be, we see it as of value to our residents to have this as an option for travel. And whether or not Michigan can work with or persuade Wisconsin to do something to our benefit is to be seen. But I do feel it's important to try to persuade via our people's voice when we, when we see something of value. And although there is nothing in the works, and I will support you on that, just because something's not in the works doesn't mean it can't be in the future when the people stand up and say, this is something that we want. So I still would want to push forward with at least putting it in writing that we are in support.
I did have conversation with this gentleman probably 3-4 months ago, and I did talk to Commissioner Williams about it. And it didn't look like it was gonna go very far at all. There is a lot of talk down in Lower Michigan. The same gentleman is really talking a lot down there. There has been 2, I think we're the 3rd county in the UP that passed this resolution. So, hopefully,
If we
it would really help the UP as far as, transportation and everything else, so.
Well, we do have to look at the other side of things, though, if we've been given facts that it's not going to happen, right? And we say, oh, but we want to support, we want to send this resolution in case it could happen. That opens us up to like every entity coming in and saying, oh, well, we don't have any permanent plans, but we would really like to, and we want the county's support to do it.
But I've not seen any facts that say it's absolute, I mean, you're telling me they are right now, but I haven't seen anything in writing that says we're absolutely not gonna do this.
Okay.
So, I haven't heard anything or seen anything that there's an absolute no.
Okay.
Okay. We have a motion, a second, we need a
Roll call.
roll call.
Williams?
Yes,
Vangenhoven?
No.
Jensen?
No.
And Melner?
Yes.
It fails.
yeah, because on a tie, yeah.
Number 16, AI policy.
This policy was brought out of the IT committee. It's a policy for county employees, county use, county data regarding AI.
I'd move that we accept the AI policy as presented.
Support.
Any discussion?
I was gonna say, there's been a lot done with it, and a lot of work went into it, and I think it's a very comprehensive policy and definitely has the ability to evolve with time, in the AI world. I think they did a really good job writing it.
Well, and I have to say, we did not necessarily write this. We did some modification on it, but it came out of a group called Gov AI Coalition. And it's a coalition of government agencies that put this together. And the idea was to provide the effective use of AI, but restrict some of the dangerous, risky AI usage. And so it's been vetted, very much vetted, and was very well-written, and has been accepted by a number of government agencies across the United States. So it's not something that we wrote, we just adopted it and then modified it for our specific use. Yeah.
Motion?
We had a
You'll have
motion.
one in support.
Yep, just need a
Yeah,
vote.
discussion?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 17, ADA RFP cover letter.
So this also came out of the IT committee, and it's a recommendation to include a cover letter for any entity that is supplying documents to the county, that they be ADA compliant documents when they supply them to us. So when we post for an RFP, we're requesting that the entity or the agency that is giving us the information, make sure that it's ADA compliant when they submit it.
Yeah. And we also are providing them with links to documents that help them to understand what that means, and also any sort of it would be free for them to do the training, the same training that our staff would be doing. And so I think that it's a mutually beneficial project, if you want to call it that, for the folks who are submitting documents to us as well, because they're going to be learning this process in the process of working with us. So I think that's mutually beneficial.
Can I get a motion?
I would make a motion to accept the ADA compliant cover letter that will be attached to any request for submission of documents to the county.
Can I get support?
I'll support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. 18, Veterans Affairs Committee bylaws.
So the Veterans Affairs Board met, or committee met, oh gosh, now I'm losing track of my time. Dave's here, but I don't know if it was last week or the week before already. And I was present for that meeting. I gave a budget presentation to the committee, and one of the tasks that the committee was working on that night was to finish their bylaws. So you'll see in front of you the recommended bylaws for their committee. These have gone through legal, they've been looked over, and one minor correction was made to them, but nothing substantial of procedure or anything like that was made.
Okay. Can I get a motion to accept?
I'll move that we place the Veteran Affairs, or actually approve the Veteran Affairs Committee bylaws.
I'll support.
Any discussion?
Yes, I do have a question. I have a couple of questions. In the objectives number 2, B2, it specifically states that the committee is advisory only, and that has very specific meanings relative to OMA. So I just want to make sure that this committee is advisory only, and that they're aware of what their responsibilities are. If they're advisory only, there are things they cannot do. So just making sure that they're aware of that. And then I had some small, there's like a missing A and a comma and stuff, but those are minor. The other is under officers, E3. I don't know whether this is a common thing, but it has that the officer shall hold office for 1 year and are eligible for reelection, but there's no time limit on it. So is that normal, that we, like, someone could serve as an office, as one of the officers for perpetuity?
As far as if they're reelected after their term is expired?
Exactly, like they just, there's no,
There's no cap as long as they're reelected after their term is expired.
and is that normal in our committees?
I don't want to speak and not know the answer to that.
Okay.
I don't remember or recall anything being in place that has like a term limit for like airport advisory or anything.
Isn't planning chair is, you're timed out after two?
I think it's
because
3
Yeah.
years. I think it's 3.
Yeah, because Denholm couldn't be planning commission chair anymore.
Right.
We had to appoint someone
Planning
else, or we
commission
had
does.
to elect someone else.
That is actually in our bylaws, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what these are,
Yeah.
That's
these
what
are
these
bylaws.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder the difference is being a commission versus advisory, because like the airport doesn't have a term on it and they're advisory as well.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, their
Right.
chairperson's been their chair forever, so.
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that just was one of those things that, you know, I think it's good to have turnover in these positions so that people have opportunities, and sometimes getting a person, you know, into an officer position and then they just stay in it over and over and over and over. It's like, you know, it just, to me, it's
I
good to
think
have.
it's common for advisory boards because I know I can speak like for the dispatch. The administrator historically has been the chair of that board for as long as I can
Really?
remember.
Okay. All
The
right.
the other one I think that would have the opportunity is just the way the way they're represented as far as the length of the terms to begin with. So that
Yeah.
there's that possibility of a turnover within
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay. The others are just small, minor things, so I can just I'll just hand you what I've got after, and, you know, I mean, it's a missing A here and a capital D and little things like that, so.
Did you want Dave to come up and answer your question regarding if they realize they're an advisory board?
No. No, I mean, if, they've mentioned it a couple of times in there, so all I'm saying is just be sure that you know that if you're advisory only, how OMA affects you. So just make sure to connect those two dots. When you are saying you're advisory only and you're following OMA, you just need to make sure that you understand what you're saying there. So that's all. I don't need to, no, I don't. They just need to read OMA and make sure that if they're advisory only, they don't have to meet OMA requirements, but they say they are. So it's like, well, why if you're not, if you're just advisory, so.
Got it.
Anyways.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. 19, ratify the UP State Fair Authority contract for the fair booth.
We determined to have a fair booth in the ninth inning, I think. It was very close to when our chamber needed all the information. I think they may have squeezed us in and done us a favor.
I think they did.
By getting us a booth. So this is just to ratify our contract. Normally, contracts like that, we would bring to the board, we would make sure that to have discussion. But something like this was very much in favor from a lot of departments that we had through the county, and employees really wanted this. So I did talk with our board chair who signed off on it, as well as Commissioner Williams, who's a part of the Parks Commission, signed off on it. So this is just ratifying that so that we have it on record.
Get a motion to ratify it.
I will motion to ratify the UP State Fair Authority contract for the fair booth.
Support.
Any more discussion?
I was going to say, I think this is, especially with the help and support from not just volunteers in the community, but our employees, it's a good way to be able to showcase our county again, and especially when it's those employees that love what they do. It's definitely something positive. Let's face it, you get 100,000 people through there roughly, or up to 120, I suppose. That's a lot of people that have the potential to see stuff and learn stuff about our county that had no idea that they had that ability for those items that were there before.
Okay. Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 20, FOIA appeal number 25-129.
You'll see in front of you the FOIA Appeal 25-129. The county board just needs to accept that appeal tonight. No decision has to be made on that appeal. It's just to be able to put it on record that you've received it, and then we have time after that, the county board does, to reconvene and vote on the FOIA.
Can we do it all in one? Can we do all 7 of these in one motion? Or
Nancy,
do we need even a motion? Or, because we're
no.
just accepting them.
We do need a motion to accept and put it on record, and Nancy, I think we've done that before when it has not involved a roll call, that we've included agenda items in one motion, as long as it's
Yeah.
named each file
Yeah.
number. I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. I would make a motion to accept or acknowledge FOIA appeal number 2129, number 25-133, number 25-134, number 25-135, number 25-136, number 25-137, and 25-139.
So we're just acknowledging acceptance? Mm-hmm. Support.
Okay. Any discussion on any of them?
I don't have a discussion on them at all, but I do, we are going to have to set up either a special meeting or do something, because we do have to respond within 10 days, 10 business days. And that means that it's the day of our meeting, and the day of our meeting isn't until after 4 PM, and we're required to respond within 10 days by 4 PM. So that's just something we need to do before we end the meeting tonight. We're going to have to come up with a time to meet.
Okay, we got a motion, we got, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. General public comment. Any general public comment?
I do have a remote public comment.
Hi, my name is Jen. This is Saturday night, 28th, I believe. Neighbor lighting fireworks off, and it's becoming a habit every weekend. I have to work at 6 a.m. This has become a problem. Huge. We need an ordinance. Nobody can help us. The state police can't. Ordinance in place for this. I am now going to be a hazard on the road in the morning because I'm not going to get any sleep because of the neighbor. So please take this into consideration. And nobody can do anything about it. So fireworks need to be
Escanaba Township.
Escanaba Township. Okay, thank you.
Any other?
No,
Chris?
that's it.
No, that's it. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Williams.
I would have to say I agree with this woman on the phone. That's an interesting, yeah, we just had the exact same experience the other night. Yeah. So anyway, something for us to maybe talk about at the next meeting. So maybe I would request that that be put on the agenda for the next meeting, is how to address that. Other than that, I don't have any comments. I didn't have any prepared comments tonight, so thank you.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes, I've received quite a few inquiries, concerned calls from our citizens of the county regarding our decision on EAS with moving forward in accepting the recommendation of Denver Air. I would just like to let people know that it is now out of our hands and in the hands of the Department of Transportation. And so while everybody is looking for information and wanting to know, what's going to happen as far as the changeover and things, we will not know until we get confirmation from the Department of Transportation that they've accepted our recommendation. Hence why we haven't given out specific details as to this point. So we should know in the fall. I spoke with our airport manager yesterday, and she said between September and October, we should know whether the Department of Transportation has taken our recommendation for transition to Denver Air. Opioid Task Force, the RFPs are now closed for the I guess we'll call it the large grant opportunities for fiscal year 26. So we will be reviewing those at our first meeting in September. And now that we approved the mini grant application online, the mini grants will be available for smaller projects or events. They'll be $3,000, up to $3,000, and you can apply for one per year. City of Escanaba has been doing a lot of work on Ludington Street. When I meet with our administration or our office staff, I feel the rumblings in our county building. It looks like they're looking to be done with paving by the 18th, I believe.
They're going to be beginning the
Oh,
pavement on the
beginning-
18th. Yes.
Beginning the pavement on the
Yep.
18th. I apologize.
That's okay.
And so I think it's going to be a great look for our downtown as we continue to move up Ludington Street with that resurfacing and curbing and sidewalks and all that good stuff. I think that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson.
First off, thank you to Veteran Affairs Committee, Advisory Committee. They actually sat down, they actually used their IT, they had a nice whiteboard up, and were able to, as they went through and constructed their bylaws, were able to type it, see it in real time. They actually were able to do that. I think it was a little over 3 hours to sit down. They pulled from a bunch of different sources. They had good discussion in between. I think it shows that we definitely have the right people selected in those positions. The other one coming up is, don't forget the fair coming up. Like I said before, there's definitely some changes folks will see, some things they won't see. I think you're going to be, looks so far to be good weather. I think it's supposed to be hot, so, definitely take care of yourself when you're going. There's stuff that's been done a little bit different to help facilitate parking now, so that should help make that go smoother. So definitely, please take time out, whether it's in the evening or during the day, and come out to the fair.
Nancy,
Nothing for me, thanks.
Administrator.
Just to kind of piggyback on what Commissioner Vangenhoven said, I just appreciate the county staff that are at the courthouse and them working through the construction and the parking and the entrance and the moving and the water shut off and everything that they've had to endure with that. So I appreciate their willingness to kind of roll with the punches when that comes along. And just a warning to the public, if they are coming to visit the courthouse, that there is no longer parking on Ludington Street because they have begun moving west on Ludington. So you may have to park on the west side entrance and walk around to the front, or utilize the city parking along the north side there, where back behind their city hall, to be able to come over to us.
Enjoy the rest of the summer. School starts here, I believe, August 26th, so enjoy the rest of the summer. It's gorgeous outside.
It's gone already.
Yeah, it's almost gone. You got 4 weeks left. Other than that, that is about all I have. Meeting schedule. Regular board meeting, 8/19 at 5:15. You're at the Service Center. Board of Commissioners meeting on 9/2/25 at 5:15 at Service Center. And Commissioner Board meeting 9/16 at 5:15 at the Service Center. 30-day notices of appointments.
Commissioner, did you want to schedule a meeting?
Yeah, I was going to see if we could probably do it tonight. Even though Patrick's not here, we should probably try and schedule it.
Oh, for the 10
So
days.
the FOIA appeals will need to meet either maybe the Monday before, or meet in the morning of the Tuesday meeting. I don't know, whatever works for anybody else.
10 days, working days, right?
10 calendar, or business days.
So we got
10 is on the 19th, which is our board meeting.
I'm gonna be gone from the 12th to coming back on the 15th.
What about the 18th, Monday, the 18th?
18th would work.
It gives us the most time, too.
Monday, the 18th, I'm only available after 4 PM.
Okay, it works for me,
I get
like 5.
5, you want to do 5?
Well, I was thinking that to try to get Patrick's schedule,
Oh,
it
yeah.
might be best
Yeah.
to do in the evening.
Yeah.
Are there any meetings in the service center that day?
Not Monday evening, the 18th.
I won't be here, so my chief deputy would have to do Monday night and Tuesday night,
Okay.
because I'll be at a clerk's
I have a Ford
conference.
River Township meeting, but it's at 7, so I could do like 5.
Yeah.
You know.
I got a Brampton Township meeting
At 7?
at 7,
Okay.
so.
So 5, do you think we'll have 2 hours will be
How
enough?
about 4?
4
I'll
would
be late.
actually work better for me, just,
Or 4:15? for
I
you?
have airport until 4 PM.
How about 4:30?
4:15, I can whip over here in 15 minutes.
yeah.
Okay, let's do 4:15 then.
So we're doing it 4:15 on,
The 18th, 8/18.
And this is for FOIA appeal only, so it's a
Yeah.
special meeting, not an additional meeting,
It
correct?
would be a special meeting just to
Okay.
cover those.
Yeah.
Okay.
8/18, 4:15 PM.
4:18 at 4:15, right here at the Service Center.
Okay.
Okay, 30-day notice of appointments, DTA, Data Board, Department of Human Services, Building Authority, Airport Board, Construction and Zoning Board of Appeals, Board of Health, Parks and Recreation, and Planning Commission.
Just
if
for,
any of
just
those-
for clarification, are these just reappointments or are these like people resigned and open?
For the,
For the notice, 30-day notice of appointments?
Those are terms
those
that
are,
have ended.
yep, those are terms that have ended that we're looking to fill the position.
But do they have to reapply or or are they continued on?
Well, if you reappoint them, you can reappoint them. They don't
Okay.
have to reapply,
They don't have to reapply?
but they do let us know that they're still interested.
Got it.
We always
Thank you.
check with them to ask if they're still interested, so
Yep.
that they can be put in with any new applications that come in, and then the county board has the choice to decide who to fill for the position.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.